Welcome back to How to Cake It. I'm Yolanda, and this week I'm using the classic Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats recipe to make a toy castle cake. I have to do this around cake because it's the first cakeless cake I've ever made. What? Welcome to the new frontier.
It is a new frontier.
You know, frontier. Get it? I was inspired by an initiative that's close to my heart called Rice Krispies Treats for Toys that donates real toys to kids in need. Thanks to Kellogg's Rice Krispies for partnering with me and sponsoring this video. To make this toy castle, I made 8 batches of Rice Krispies Treats. It's so simple to make. So the first thing you want to do is melt your unsalted butter in a pot on the heat. I personally don't like to do it really high. I don't want burnt marshmallows. We're not going for campfire. Why did I do campfire? Those are actual things.
Probably because you would never build a
Campfire. As you guys know, the only camp I do is Camp Cake. It's indoors. It's in these doors. It's right here, actually. Maybe here. I hope you guys have signed up. I'll see you on December 15th. Once your butter is melted, you can pour in your mini marshmallows. They're so cute. Once your marshmallows are melted, you want to remove your pot from the heat, stir in your vanilla, and then stir in your Rice Krispies. Time to press this batch of Rice Krispies Treats into a 10-inch square pan and then press it down into the pan. I know you're aware of how I feel about air bubbles, but I feel the same about air pockets. They're not welcome here. Now I'll make my second batch of Rice Krispies Treats and press it directly on top of that first batch in the 10-inch pan. I make my third and fourth batch and repeat this process in my other 10-inch pan. Now with my fifth and sixth batch, I press them into 2 6-inch square pans, but I reserve about 1/4 of each batch, put it aside in a bowl. I do this so that my 6-inch layers are the same height as my 10-inch layers. This is my version of leveling.
It is.
That's right. I move on and make my 7th and 8th batch of Rice Krispies Treats, and I press them along with the leftover treats that I set aside into a 12-inch square pan. Now this pan won't be as high as the other 4, but don't worry. I might have given up my crumb coat, but I will not give up my chill. So I'm putting these pans in the fridge to chill and set up. I can't use a megaphone. I don't have a chill and set up megaphone.
It doesn't have the same ring.
It doesn't. Chill and imagine a T. Chill and set up.
Chill and set up.
No,
it's like almost counterproductive.
one sounds relaxing, one sounds uptight. It's time to start building my toy castle, and the first thing I need to do is remove my 2 10-inch square pans of Rice Krispies Treats. Now I have 2 beautiful 10-inch square layers, and I need to glue one on top of the other using royal icing. Because it is a castle, I'm not going to use regular icing. I need royal icing. I repeat this one more time with my 6-inch layers. I have to go back to Buckingham Palace and get more. BuckinghamPalace.com/royal icing.
Put that on the screen.
For the base of this castle, I used a square cake board that I just covered in some colored shelf liner. I'm going to glue the 6-inch layer on top of my 10-inch layer. More royal icing, please! It's delivered to you on a velveteen pillow with a golden spatula. Now, Rice Krispies Treats were actually the first thing I ever made. In fact, I think they were my gateway to cake. The cake way. Now, you guys have seen me use Rice Krispies to create some of my cakes, like this one and this one. Next to cake, it's one of my favorite things to sculpt and mold into shapes. And they're so delicious. So now I'd like to create a decorative border on the top of each one of my layers. I'm actually gonna roll out 3 fondant cups. This is not 3, I do this all the time. I'm actually gonna roll out 3 fondant colors, pink, purple, and blue. To cut the border, I cut even strips of fondant. I use a ruler and a sharp paring knife, and then I line up my decorative cutter with one long end of a fondant strip and cut it out. I'm using a decorative cutter that I have that looks very castle-y. It came in a set of 4 cutters, and I don't think I've used this one, but it's perfect for a castle. I need to glue these decorative borders onto my Rice Krispies treats with a little bit of clear piping gel. I glued my pink border onto the first floor of the castle. I used my ruler to really help me put it in place. This way I can lay my decorative strip onto the ruler and then hold my ruler up against the layer and press it up. I repeat this process and glue my purple decorative border to the top floor of the castle. Isn't purple a very royal color? It is.
What color are you wearing, Yolanda?
Purple, of course. This castle needs some windows. I just feel like it's very stifling in there at the moment. We're going to create the illusion of frames by cutting out 2 sets of squares for each window. We're going to cut out a larger purple square and then a smaller blue square and glue that blue square onto the purple square. I'm placing 2 purple doors on this castle. I'm going to use a wood grain embossing mat, lay it on top of my fondant and just press it down. You can even use a small rolling pin to roll over it and then cut out that wood grain purple door. Yes, there is purple wood. It comes from the finest purple trees. They only use these trees to make castle doors. Now I glue my doors onto the castle with piping gel again, and I use a ruler to make sure that they're right in the middle. This castle is really coming together, but it needs towers. I mean, can you call it a castle without towers? So I tap out my 12-inch square pan of Rice Krispies treats. I'm going to now cut towers that are the same width as the height, because I want to create towers that are perfectly cubed. Out of my 12-inch layer, I'm able to get 6 towers. I now take 4 of those towers and I cut them to 7 inches high. With my remaining 2 towers, I cut them in half. It's time to create more decorative trim and glue it around the tops of these towers I've created.
I think those are called like turrets. Like there's a name.
I thought turrets were what was on top of towers. But I know what you're saying. In a castle, it would be.
Yeah.
It's like it would be where the guards stood.
Yeah.
And look out in the distance.
Exactly.
So when the prince was on his way, they'd let you know.
Yeah. Exactly
Or somebody
what
was
it's for.
coming to, claim all of your royal icing. You could protect. These towers need windows. So I'm creating more windows exactly the same way as I did before, but this time they will have pink frames. Now when I cut 4 of my strips into 7-inch towers, I had some leftover. So I have 4 leftover short towers. I cut the 4 towers in half exactly, and now I have 8 little cubes, which I cut into triangle rooftops. It's time to glue my towers onto my cake with royal icing, of course. Put a little swirl on the bottom of each tower and then glue the bottom towers to the cake board and the top towers to the top of the 10-inch layer. I just use more royal icing on the bottom of each peak and glue rooftops to the top of each tower. Make sure not to disrupt the decorative trim. This is not an abandoned castle. This is a brand new, hot on the market, custom built tower. Now for that sparkle I mentioned, I'm going to glue some really shimmery gumballs to the top of each peak on the towers. And again, guys, use your imagination. You can use any candy that you like. There's one design flaw with this castle. How do you get in the door? I roll a small ball of pink fondant, cut it in half, and then I just shape it with my fingertips. So it's more of like a handle. It's a hefty door. You need to be able to use like 2 hands to pull on it, right? When the guards aren't there and you're trying to get in. I'm going to create a beautiful sprinkle rooftop terrace. And to do that, I'm using our custom sprinkle medley. To get your own custom sprinkle medleys delivered right to your door, don't forget to sign up for our sprinkle service at ìcakeî.com. You might think this castle looks fabulous, but no. Wait till you see the sprinkle garden we're planting. I leave a little path, of course, for the front door. It's very well manicured, and there's no need for irrigation. Fellow Canadians, listen up. The real reason I made this Rice Krispies toy castle was to take part in Rice Krispies Treats for Toys. It's super simple. I make this toy-shaped treat out of Rice Krispies cereal and then share it on my social media using the hashtag #TreatsForToys. When I do that, Kellogg's Rice Krispies donates $20 to the Salvation Army to buy a real toy for a child who might otherwise go without. So I'm asking for you guys to do this with me by making your own toy-shaped treats, big or small. The goal is to donate $30,000. So let's do this. More details are below in my description or at treatsfortoys.ca. I can't wait to check out your creations, guys. Don't forget to go to treatsfortoys.ca for more info. Wishing you the sweetest holiday.